Okay, I'm live. Welcome to live chat and the privacy. Okay. Just found out, a while ago, I've been laughing my ass off, and I'd love to know the story. I won't get into speculation. But Matt Short, Matthew Short, Matt Short, whatever the fuck his real name is, I don't know. Murdoch Perezi, I can't even remember what his real name was. Somebody gave me his address after the whole conflict, but that's mainly what I'm going to talk about. I can't remember the name of their gun group, but they were proud that they were long before OCT and all this other shit. But they, like all groups, they had their core members and the usual suspects. I got involved with them on the political walks for open carry in Texas. One of the main things is yet another pedophile. There was a guy that was, I don't know what crimes he was actually charged with overseas, but he was making, it went in the news, he was here in Texas, he was making a 3D printed gun. So Murdoch and Matt and I can't remember the fat fucker's name that was with their group, they had bought one of those 3D printers, or not 3D printers, basically you put a chunk of metal in and it did 2 or 3 axes and you had to move it, but they were milling out a AR-15 receiver on the by the south gate of the Texas Capitol, and there was a lot of laws about it and all this other shit, what could or couldn't be done. So they needed some people to show up, and I was on the short list. It's amazing how I was always there and always invited, but somehow I'm full of shit. Beside the point. There was a rally at the monument. I will not say the groups involved because I don't want to inflict negatively on them. It was going to happen. It was gaining speed. Reader's Digest version of it. The event happened, but before it all happened, Murdoch and Matthew and all these people were calling me saying don't show up because the white supremacists and the cops and all these biker groups and shit were showing up and they were just going to destroy it and all this other bullshit. But probably 20 phone calls over a week giving me all these reasons not to show up. Big false flag event and all this other shit. And Jason, the fat fucker's name was Jason. Anyhow, I just told him, fuck off, y'all go do whatever the fuck y'all want to go do, and I'll go do whatever I'm going to do, and we'll meet in the middle, and everything will be fine. But basically, they were cowards because they didn't show up. You cannot move a movement based on cowards not showing up. If nobody fucking shows up, the movement never happens. You don't win a war against the government or a battle against the government by playing armchair warriors, right? Well, one of the guys from OCT, I know his name, I won't bring it up. He had put me down as one of the event coordinators and something on the official title of a OCT post. Because once again, everybody thinks David Ahmad was huge into this, but he hadn't grown a set of balls until he realized it was going to be a big event. And then he showed up for the fucking credit. But that's beside the point because other people have other opinions on that. So David Ahmad said, no, we're not going, we're not doing this. They put my name down on the OCT page, the Houston chapter, made an event. We were playing it on our own. CJ got butthurt over it, took the page down. 2 guys lost their ability to put shit on OCT because we were going rogue. But sure as shit, David Ahmad showed up and took a lot of credit, and a lot of people think he did something, but he was one of the people actually working against it, but that's beside the point. The event happened, and it was a big event. A lot of people showed up, a lot of people donated money that couldn't be there. They had tents, and I think they even had porta potties brought in, but it was a big event, had medical and water for everybody, and might have been 40 pizzas, I don't know. There was some food there, and table with chips and shit that people bought, the snack table. But anyhow, it was well orchestrated, well done. Everything went well. After the event was over, Matthew Short and Murdoch decided that, well, this much money was donated and they think they only spent so much money. Well, it went into the coffers of the three groups that were doing the event, and more money was spent than raked in. But it brought a lot of attention and shit. Well, after the event was all said and done, like 3 or 4 days later, Matthew Short made a video about how I had embezzled money from the organization, although he couldn't credit which organization it was, and that he actually went to the DA's office, Dallas-Fort Worth area, if I remember correctly, about how I embezzled all this money and that charges should be brought against me. The guy that's anti-cop and pro-freedom fighter and warriors, you know, and all this shit, meat eater kind of fucking guy, actually went to the DA's office and tried to get charges brought against me for embezzling money I never touched. Somebody just put my name down as a contact and official title for the event. So that day, I actually called the DA's office that he had mentioned in the actual video, and they tried to downplay it. I was like, look, you got 5 fucking minutes to put somebody of authority on this page, or I'll be at your fucking office the next morning. So they put me on hold. About 8 minutes later, somebody got on the phone. What was your name again? Joseph Walker. And they said, well, we've gotten several calls about this, and they're actually watching a video that somebody had sent them about how, you know, our office is somehow bringing charges against you, but we're kind of curious as to how, because it's not in our jurisdiction, and Matthew Short had never fucking called their office. And I said, okay. I said, I don't care for shit if I'm getting arrested. I'll show up and, you know, we'll get a lawyer and hash this shit out. But I want you to know Matthew Short is a complete fucking liar, and I never had anything to do with the money for this event. So shortly thereafter, Matthew took the video down. Once again, I was a federal plant, and all this other stupid shit took off, and somehow I embezzled all the money. But beside the point. Once a man dies, he becomes a hero. Although the biggest enemy to the movement was him. For that rally, especially. Because they weren't getting any attention to it, so therefore they have to work against you. And that's what I'm bringing up. If you ever decide to get in the political movement and go forward, especially on the right or pro-Second Amendment or anti-law enforcement, well, we'll leave law enforcement out of it, but let's say Second Amendment and pro-Republican issues. We're led to believe that people that are outside of it, and I would have never believed this if you would have told me beforehand, so I don't give a shit what your fucking opinion is, but going into it, you naturally think the Democrats and the progressives and all these other people are going to be your enemies, right? They could care less. They're going to show up, do their little fucking rally, get paid, and move on down the road. You will find that you make a lot of friends and networking, and it's awesome. I wouldn't trade it for the world. But know when you get into politics, especially as a conservative or Republican, if you will, although I'm ashamed to call myself one. Nobody can define what a fucking Republican, let alone a woman, is. But whenever you get into a political thing, you think the enemy is on the other side. No. The enemy is in your own house. The enemy is people that sit and eat at your dinner table. The enemy is people that call you friends and put you forward for a name and a movement. Nobody will take it as vicious and turn against you as people on your own side that call themselves conservative, that call themselves Republican, that call them Second Amendment, First Amendment people, whatever the case may be. When you get involved, know from the get-go, you will meet a Matthew Short. He will be your biggest fucking enemy, and he'll be the first one to tuck, tail, and run when shit gets hard or there's violence going on, and will run to the very fucking system you're fighting to bring charges against you with absolutely zero proof other than my name was put on some document that was taken down. It's people like Matthew Short on your own fucking side. And you may agree with 99% of the shit in common with each other, and it's just fucking semantic bullshit and how it's supposed to be getting done that you argue against. But know this, when you get into a political movement, your enemies aren't going to be on the left, aren't going to be progressives or all this other shit, or the people you hear about in the news, or Moms Demand Action or anything like that. It will be the Matthew Shorts of this fucking world, and they will run to the very fucking people they call the enemy and trying to work against to bring charges against you. It's people like Matthew Short that will do this. And they will do absolutely everything to get something on you because they've already run their mouth. They have absolutely no fucking proof, and their credit's on the line. Just know that. So I don't give a shit if he died in a house fire or if his fucking meth lab caught and blew himself up. I don't give a shit. I don't care how he fucking died. It's irrelevant. Your biggest enemies in life will be the people you stood beside, will be the people you supported, will be the people you fucking volunteered to be in a dangerous situation and fucking stand there with, right next, shoulder to shoulder. They will be the biggest fucking enemy you've ever imagined, and you would never believe it going into it. That somebody on your side would work so viciously and so asinine and stupidly and work with the very fucking people we're both trying to fight as long as it benefits them and tears you down. It's the Matthew Shorts of this fucking world that are the enemy. That's my peace of mind, but it's all fucking bullshit. Somebody will take a lie, run with it, run to the people you're fighting, and try and downplay you and try and bring all this shit against you, and in the end they look stupid. But if that stupid person happens to fucking die, you don't instantly say he was the greatest person in the movement when he was the one working against the very things that you went out and did and accomplished in every fucking capacity. And they say, well, you weren't fucking there. One of the pictures they used, I took. I was there. I was standing on the other fucking side of the table taking a picture. I didn't like my name out there. Didn't like my face out there. I'm not that fucking pretty to look at. I wasn't the face of the movement. I was just there helping secure the area, which is fucking stupid. But what do you do whenever you get caught? Or what do you do whenever you get in a situation where somebody calls you out for being a coward because you didn't fucking fight the Autumn Spring, you didn't fight Art Acevedo and the fucking HPD, you didn't fight against the MCs, motorcycle clubs, or motorcycle gangs, whichever the case may be, the real bad guys with SS and shit on their fucking jersey. But they will take the credit after you turn them over to the cops. And for those of you that aren't military guys, I was never a military guy. You would not believe how heavy a man is when he's wearing fucking plates and you got to throw him over your shoulder to stop a bad situation from happening. Or dragging a fucking biker that weighs 350 pounds by the leather jacket and his fucking hair to the cops. But the same people that say, oh wow, that was awesome that you did that, will deny it ever fucking happened and will run to the cops saying you need to have charges brought against you because they were too fucking cowardly to show up in the first place. So know this, your enemy isn't some fucking progressive or Moms Demand Action matching shirt lady or reading from the script and getting $250 Target gift certificate. The biggest enemies you will ever have in the conservative, Republican, Second Amendment, First Amendment shit is the people you fucking stand with. And they will do everything to drag you down. Go fuck yourselves. Have a nice day.